It's absolute madness here in the studio, but today, in honor of the fantastic Mr. Tim Holtz, whose birthday it is, happy birthday, Tim, I am going to whip up a birthday tag real quick. Distress Stain and Scattered Straw, first of all, and give this a little hit with a drying tool, let it dry for a second. And I'm going to use a lot of my favorite Tim products here. Next, I'm going to hit this with Scattered Straw again on this stamp. A Tim stamp, of course. And bam. And I just did that upside down and I'm totally okay with that. Okay, you can see it just leaves really super faint mark. That's awesome. What else? Oh yeah. Let's flick this with water. Flicking it with water is going to give it some interesting little spots there as soon as it's dry. Smack it with the drying tool again. Alright, look at that. Look at those fun little spots. I learned that trick from who else? Tim. Okay, now what else? Let us get out, what do we think? Tumbled glass? I don't know. I'm kind of headed more towards, no, not wild honey. Spice marmalade. Let's go for spice marmalade. And let's hit it with a couple of my very favorite florists. Hit it up here. And let's hit it over here. And should we do a third spot? If we're going to do a third spot, where else? Let's just hit it a second time up here. Okay. Now, I think we gotta get some mist going on, and I'm going to go with Mandarin. Perfect Pearls Mist by Ranger. And you don't need very much of this. I'm going to do 2 squirts because I want it to be extra sparkly. But it's going to sparkle and shimmer and shine. You know what? Up high needs a little more. Ha! Yeah. You see how fast this goes? Tim has inspired so many creative ideas from me and is just such a great person. Love Tim. Love his work. Love. All around love fest. So, now I am going to drench this in ultra thick embossing enamel. And I'm just going to use this piece. Oh, it matches. That's not on purpose. It just happens that way. Alright, so I'm going to use Versamark watermark pad and coat this tag real nice and thick with that. And that's just going to act as a holder, if you will. It'll help my UTE stick. And then I'm going to dump that UTE ultra thick embossing enamel on there. And I'm going to be generous with it because I want it to coat real nice and thick. Okay. Now, once it's on there, I'm not in such a rush, you know, now that I got it on there. So I'm going to set that aside and get this out of the way. Because I learned a lesson the hard way. You don't want ultra thick embossing enamel loose when you turn on that heat gun. You don't want it flying all over your business. So, I hit that with the heat tool. Once that dries, once that's all melted, if you've got a couple spots, like you can see on mine, there's a couple of spots where it's imperfect, you could keep on heating it to help it like melt down and go, or you could just leave it as is. Me, I'm leaving it as is because I'm good with the imperfect, and that's just how I roll. But I am going to get out, I think I'm going to get out some of my very favorite color, because it wouldn't be a Tim Holtz project without some brushed corduroy, you know? Let me get out some brushed corduroy and rub it all over, and it's going to kind of soak into those spots where I wasn't perfect, which I'm good with. That's something I want. And it's not going to want to soak into other spots. That's okay too. And after I'm all set with that, I'm going to get out my embossing enamel again. Only this time I'm going to use the regular, because why not? Doesn't matter. I could use the thick again. I'm going to dump that over again. Tap off my excess, and remember, I'm going to put this away before I start the heat gun process. Can you tell I learned my lesson the hard way? Okay, and then one more blast with the heat gun, and I'll be set to go.